Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video, and tonight we're going to be talking about Workhorse. So Workhorse is a stock which we have covered quite a lot on the channel, and that is because it's one of our favourite stocks. We see a lot of good things happening for this stock in the future. A lot of people have shown interest in the stock on the channel, and that's why we cover it so much. It's one of my personal favourite electric vehicle stocks, and I just like to cover it quite a bit, to be honest. Now, in the last few days, we have actually seen quite a decline in the price of Workhorse stock. Now, I personally am invested in Workhorse stock. I've lost over £120 in Workhorse stock. That is obviously in Great British pounds. You guys tell me what you've lost in the comment section below. First things first, just before we do start off though, I need to state I am not your financial advisor. I am no one's financial advisor. I'm just a guy on the internet with an opinion, and tonight we're going to be looking at some reasons why this stock has dropped. If that does sound good, honestly, please do smash that like button, please do press subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000, we're on about 300 now. If you guys could get us to 400 by tomorrow and 1,000 by the end of next week, that would be so much appreciation. I don't think that made any English sense, but you can imagine how this one's going to go. So looking at Workhorse stock, we're going to do some analysis, and then we're going to be looking at this in comparison to some other stocks and some other indexes and whatnot, and then we're going to be looking at why the shares have potentially fallen and what this means for the future. Now, this is, in my opinion, going to be a shorter video because I have so much good things to say about Workhorse stock. I think it's just a strong stock for the future, but let's look at why it has dropped over the past few days. Should you be concerned? Anyway, so please do watch all the way through to the end if that sounds good. So looking on the 1 day, we are actually slightly in the green, thank goodness for that. It was a terrible drop today that we saw. Nice to see us back into the green. Things become a lot more apparent what I'm talking about when we look out to the 5 day, seeing highs of around 30.95, perhaps slightly higher than that, dropping there all the way down slowly, and slowly we saw dips, and then it seemed like it was starting to pick back up, and then it went even lower. Same thing again, same thing again, same thing again, all the way down to this point, and then guess what? It happened again. Currently, it looks like we might be seeing a bounce back, but with the way that this is currently kind of flat, so we could go either way. Hopefully, we do see improvement to the upside. Like I said, we are on a 2% plus day according to Google statistics, so hopefully you can see this rise continue and we can actually get back to making some money on this stock. Like I said, I have personally lost out. You guys tell me what you guys have lost as well, just to make me feel a bit better. But when we look out to the 1 month on Workhorse stock, this becomes quite apparent, guys. I'm sure a lot of people have lost a lot. I'm feeling kind of ill about this one. You know, it does hurt when we lose money in such a strong stock, especially on such a big bull run over the past month. We can see here that this stock has been strengthening each single drop. Drops have been getting shorter and shorter and shorter. It looks like this stock was really about to take off on a huge bull run. Don't get me wrong, we were actually on a huge bull run anyway, and that becomes a lot more apparent when we look out to the 6 month. Looking back to the 1 month though, I mean, wow, we can just see how steep this drop actually is. We lost almost $10 off the price of Workhorse stock. Now, this doesn't seem too big for some stocks, a $10 move. But like I said in my last video on, I think it was ChargePoint or something else, I can't remember what video that was. It's like, for example, if I had, I don't know, £2 and someone takes away £1, I've only got half the value now because I've only got £1. If I had a million and someone takes away one, it's noticed a lot more. I know that's a terrible way of putting it, and I know that someone's going to bring me up on that one in the comment section, but let's just imagine it. If Workhorse stock's worth $22 and then we lose $10, that's going to be such a huge difference because it's lost half of its value. If something like, I don't know, Tesla's worth $300-400, don't quote me on that one, and it loses $10, not really too big of a move at all. I mean, it is, but you know, with Workhorse it's a lot more painful. So looking out onto this big bull run over the past 6 months, we can see how steep the drop actually is. Really, it did look like it's taking quite the hit, and I believe this is just simply due to people taking profits and a few other market factors which would have probably affected this stock anyway, because I think it was Warren Buffett himself that said two things happen with stocks in the stock market and outliers. Either the market catches up to the stock in the sense that this stock is on a big bull run, then the market will catch up, or the stock catch up to the market. Now, obviously, as we know over the past year, the market is actually on quite the downturn. So that's why I've brought up these other articles and graphs. This one is on the S&P and the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is obviously around technology. Actually, we've seen a 1.5% gain on the Nasdaq, similar to the 2% gain on Workhorse today. But when we go out to the 5 day, we can see a lot more apparent of a downturn, slightly better actually than Workhorse stock, as that is kind of a linear progression downwards. This one we can see there are actually quite steep inclines. We almost even hit a new high of the week, midweek, and then we saw a drop off. And once again, similar to Workhorse, it looks like we are starting to pick up a bit of momentum towards the later dates. Now, this is what I say about Workhorse generally outperforming the market. This generally does show a strong stock in my opinion, and people are just taking profits on Workhorse, but we're going to look at some other factors. But once again, Nasdaq being on the downside, this also means that a lot of technology stocks are on the downside. Tesla is down, Apple I believe is down, Amazon I'm not 100% sure, but we can imagine if a lot of other technology stocks are down, of course all stocks are kind of going to get affected as people, well, you know how this one works. I'm not going to spend time explaining it. Looking out to the S&P, which is another thing which we can use to compare to this one, the 1 month is very, very red, as we can see here. 6 month is actually slightly green. This is generally the top 500 American companies, so we can imagine these are big companies that don't take volatile hits like Workhorse does, for example. So what this means is, generally speaking, when they go up slowly. When they go down, they generally speaking go down quite slowly as well. However, we are still on the green with this stock. We are on 1.1%. That's actually slightly worse than Workhorse's gain today. However, this one becomes a lot more apparent, being as this kind of does look like the Workhorse graph, as we have lost quite a bit on this one. So generally speaking, the markets aren't doing well. Workhorse is just one of those stocks which isn't doing well. Workhorse has been on such a huge bull run over the past few months, 6 months specifically, maybe even 4 months prior to that, because we can see the growth started happening around 22nd of June, in my opinion, perhaps even slightly earlier than that. Basically, June is when we started to see the growth, and we've been on a huge bull rally ever since then. So looking at this from a percentage point, that's 505% over the past few months, and that is with the drop. Now, if we had got out at the drop, we can see we'd have got 574%. So yes, if you were swing trading this one, I believe you should have sold at this point, but I'm sure a lot of you people aren't swing traders and you are actually investors. Like I said, I am no financial advisor, but we're going to be looking at this article on other reasons of why this stock might have sold off, and it looks like we've actually gone up 1 subscriber in the last few minutes, so please do subscribe to help the cause just before we look into this article. So this one is actually on Workhorse and Diamond Peak Holdings, which is apparently going to be Lordstown Motors after the merger that is apparently going to happen with those. So I found this article here, if I can find where it is on the article. It basically says that Lordstown has been going down because it is about to go through, I think it is a SPAC merger, as you can see here. And what this means is, in my opinion, I do agree with this one. This is on Fool.com, so you know you can imagine a very great source for information. No, but we can see here that they are stating the reason why this company has dropped, which is Lordstown Motors, and this is actually a company that Workhorse has a 10% stake in, 11% stake even, is because of Nikola. Now, if you don't know what's been going on with Nikola, you should, because I've covered it on the channel. If you want to know, it's on the channel, check out the videos. But yes, Nikola has been accused of a lot of terrible things, forcing down a lot of the electric vehicle sector, especially with a lot of small startup electric vehicle companies, as people kind of feel a little bit apprehensive to invest in them after seeing what has happened with Nikola and such a big scam, or potentially a big scam. I'm not going to say whether it is or it isn't in this video, but this is kind of dissuaded people from investing in electric companies, and they are stating that is one of the potential reasons why this stock has dropped off. And I think that is fair, alongside another thing, which is the price has gone up by, 600% in like 4 or 5 months. At that point, a lot of people are just going to be happy taking profits. So yeah, there's not really been too much news on Workhorse. Tomorrow, I do actually want to update you guys with a great video sharing some good and happy news on why I think this is a good stock to invest in for the long term. I would say I am not too concerned. Like I said, I have lost money on this one. This is through a CFD, if you know what that is. So I could actually get stopped out if the price goes much lower. We'll just have to see. I'm not really too bothered. Tell me if you guys are bothered in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you're worried. Also, do leave a like, subscribe. Whilst you're here, please do check out any of the videos which are on your screen right now. I will see you in the next episode, which will be later tomorrow.